Greetings, fellow citizens. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Memoriapolis. Episode 5, Advancing Ages. And now, with those cultural radiance points acquired, I am going to age up. So I'm going to leave that poll up there for like one more minute, but let's go change of age now. Are you sure you want to go to the next stage? You're about to embark on the passage of an age in your city, and this will be an opportunity to make decisions that have major impacts on your residents. Bear in mind that certain actions will no longer be possible, and buildings and factions will be forgotten forever. So I'm going to close this and go towards the new age. And this is a timeline of how things developed. So Andronima Maximinus founded Onagoria and built an arena in 92 years within the foundation, or 92 cycles within the foundation of the city, and then built the ceramics workshop afterwards. You can see it progressing down here at the bottom. Then the Horium, then the Trade Center, the Macellum, the Statio, the Presidium, the Domus we repaired as a ruin, the Senatus we built for our politicians, the Ludus Magnus as a result of backing the Greek cities, the theater, and then finally the Archivum. Alright, we have a choice here. When you supported the Greek cities in the defense against the Kingdom of Macedonia, the troops were so galvanized and the battles so grandiose that your common enemies still shudder. But now, the Hellenic kingdom formed by the Greek cities is dreaming of conquest. Could you strengthen our alliances? We could strengthen our alliances by striking at the target of the Greek cities, Rome. The advantages are numerous, politically, commercially, and militarily. But on the other hand, who could stop the Greek rulers if not you? The world could change, drastically depending on your involvement. Choose wisely. So we could, left choice, condemn Rome. And we would lose a trade route to Burdigala, and we would gain safety and belonging and unlock a new trade route to Kornithos. Or we could choose to interrupt the Hellenic kingdom's madness. We lose a trade route and we gain raw resources and unlock a trade route with Roma. So the left choice is to gain citizen satisfaction primarily, and the right choice is to gain raw resources. And it looks like we're going to gain safety and belonging, which I think I would have chosen too. Alright, here's my scoreboard. Final score. The score shown at the end of each age is a performance indicator. The closer you are to 100, the more you are on track to obtain the capital of capitals, the final objective of the game. So we gained 76 out of 100. Could have done better, could have done worse. Our cultural radiance level was maxed, but I could have built more wonders. And our average faction trust was about 76%, so I could have worked more to gain their trust higher by like lowering their taxes, and I could have done that. The family interlude. It's been hundreds of years since the family has a notable leader, but that hasn't stopped it from remaining in control of the town. To make the best of it, we have to focus on something. So we started off as strategists, but if you want to remain strategists or pivot, that is up to you. So if we keep a strong army, we gain an additional military plan, gain additional trust boosts with military factions, and gain gold. If we go with religious fervor, we gain an additional religious plan, gain trust boosts with religious factions, gold. And that's true of all the factions. What a plan is. So a plan is like a passive bonus that is determined between those factions. It's also worth noting that we can pick two cultures. So the top two options on the poll that is, hold up, right there. Now it's not hidden. is what we'll choose on. So if you choose, like right now it's production and education, so we would choose those two. Okay. I think that's pretty safe to say that one. Erosion of time. So this will be left to right, top to bottom. Or actually, I'm going to name the buildings. So the buildings that we built will decay into ruin, and we can choose to save buildings. It's also worth noting that you guys just decided to back the production and education factions. So picking production or education buildings might be advisable, because those are the faction focuses that you've chosen, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to. We could save, like, the arena, which is the oldest building. And we can only select one building to be protected from ruin. And you can sort them here if you wanted to. I mean, I didn't build enough to need sorting options, but hypothetically you could. So, we are, I think, protecting our ancient theater. And then, here is the plans. So I am going to choose this one, which is the security area for our cities is larger, so we have more territory. All right, start of the Middle Ages. So this was our ancient city, and we are choosing a military city center. So we are essentially building a whole new city, which is different. Which is why this, if you're new to the game, takes you by surprise, and if you don't have the territory for it, it can really suck. But fortunately, I annexed a whole bunch of territory to the north because I knew that this was coming. But the first time I played this, it really caught me by surprise, and it was unfortunate because I didn't have the land to really develop in a medieval city center. So I'm gonna stick it, let's say here. All right. The erosion of time. Cultural buildings can erode and become damaged due to riots or age changes, negating any benefits they provide, preventing their evolution. For each level of degradation, the repair cost will increase. Basically, the longer they're laid into ruin, the more expensive they become. Evolution. Some cultural buildings can evolve, mixing several buildings simultaneously. The action offers several significant advantages in terms of culture, attraction, and other bonuses of the player's choice. So here's our arena, for instance. And I can repair the arena for some wood and stone. Sure, that's actually a pretty cheap option. The Presidium, for instance, has much higher repair costs, like 3,400 clay. So in order to do that, it's a much higher bill. And then once we repair the Presidium, it can evolve to a garrison warehouse if I have the blueprints for a garrison warehouse. So some of the buildings that are left in ruin can be first repaired and then evolve. So I mentioned previously the ceramic workshops can evolve to a stoneware workshop. So when we have the resources to evolve it, we can repair it and evolve it so it provides a bonus. Craig, thank you for the resub. Another thing that I want to warn you guys about, when you... hypothetically or realistically, I have now two cities. I have the medieval center and the ancient center, and our food needs are going to skyrocket like bananas. So it's really important to keep up with food demand. So I'm going to use blueprints to unlock small farm tier 2 and small or 3 and 4, so that we can start upgrading our farms, because we're going to need to feed a lot more people really fast. And then I'm also going to build another small farm. So now there's also this like larger sphere of influence area in the blue, which is like our bonus security zone from backing from that like political bonus as strategists. So as you can see, we have like a 20% wider everything everywhere, which is really nice because it gives us access to a lot more building. Cheers. All right, so we have this optional goal of evolving with the times. So I hope to repair the ceramics workshop pretty soon and then evolve it into a stoneware workshop. We're also going to need like a whole lot of wood and clay and stone to do this kind of stuff. So I'm going to need to heavily invest in that. And we have two, so taking a look at the blueprints now. The cultural blueprints are all reset. These are all middle-aged, the sort of medieval blueprints now. So all of the original cultural buildings are gone, and the service buildings are gone, and the wonders are gone, because it's a whole new age. We did keep the theater, and the theater can evolve to a heart of political life, which is a different type of building, if we had the resources. So some of these buildings, like the Thestatio, the Ludus Magnus, these buildings were protected by the mausoleum, because I chose to put the mausoleum as close to them as possible. So I kept a lot of my ancient era buildings intact due to the strategic placement of this mausoleum, which is going to provide an enormous bonus because I have all these satisfaction bonuses that did not decay over time. So that's huge. That strategic mausoleum as close as possible to a bunch of buildings was a big boon. Additionally, in the blueprints, in production, we now have access to the small mine, which I'm going to unlock. So the small mine starts to acquire iron and gold. Also, now that we're in the medieval times, our need for stone, clay, and wood are just so much higher. I can't even start to explain how much higher it is. So, some of the other things that I want to do immediately is set up better quarries, better wood cutting, all that stuff. So here's a stone quarry. Let's get another cutting camp. Maybe stick it here. It's pretty close to the original one, which is not ideal. Is there a better spot for it? I don't want it too close to the medieval center, because that would be not great. Maybe back here? Come on. Yep. There. No, that's still too close to the medieval center. Oh, here. I could do it here. This is fine. It's far away from towns. I could get it to go green. Because what I'll do is I'll widen its sphere of influence and it will cut down the trees around it. So that was stone, wood. Let's do one more clay. So there's clay. I'm already getting the clay there. I'm not getting the clay down here, but I don't know if I have anything that reaches this proximity. No, I don't really. So I think we won't focus that clay. Maybe I'll try to get this clay up here. So what I could do is I could do a survey cabin. Well, I think the order of operations here is to start to get gold and iron, upgrade this surveyor's cabin to increase its sphere, and then build another surveyor's cabin up here to get the clay up there. So speaking of which, let's go to our trade center. So we can start to buy iron, and then I can open up trade routes to buy gold as well. So let's buy 200 iron so that I can start upgrading things. And then start a trade route with, oh man, these are expensive trade routes. But yeah, this is the only one that will sell gold. So start a trade route with them and buy like 100 gold. And in the same time, sell like 1,000 clay to cover some of the cost of the gold. Or actually, buy 200 gold. Okay. So now with that gold and iron that we have, we can upgrade the surveyor's cabin to the next tier. So I'm going to unlock the blueprint for that. And upgrade this surveyor's cabin so that it has a larger sphere of influence so we get closer to the clay that we need. Would clearing out the trees around here give more room? No, they'll just like plow the trees over. They don't really need me to do that for them. The other thing I wanted to do is to improve the small farm tier 1 to tier 2. So I did warn you, but like the food needs that you have when you're developing a second city center, like dramatically go up real fast. So be ready for that jump in demand. And I have... Yeah, okay. So here's the tier 3 surveyor's cabin, and then we stick this one here and start to upgrade it. I have a lot more blueprints, so I'm going to start to get the next tier cutting camp and the next tier quarry. I'm not going to worry about the carver, carpenter, or any of that yet. It would also be good to start getting our own gold and iron. So we did unlock mines, and let's go for gold first. So there's a little bit of gold here. There's a lot of gold back there, so maybe the gold back here would be best. There seems to be high concentrations of gold in this area. I don't have a survey area over there, though, so I'll have to pick a different spot. Maybe over here? The terrain is a little rough, but I think I can manage it. I'll try to find a spot that's valid. Yeah, even that's fine. Yeah, that'll work. Go for gold. And then let's get an iron mine. So there's iron here. Maybe I can get that. Oh yeah, definitely. That's a lot of iron. Good. This is for iron. Let's see if there's another gold spot and another iron spot. So there's some gold in the middle of the farm fields, but I'm probably not going to be able to exploit that very easily. There's a lot of gold in the hills back here, but I probably can't get a gold mine out there just yet. But what I can do is I can increase the radius of the surveyor's cabin to be able to build a little beyond where the farms cover. Other iron spots. So there's an iron spot here, but obviously I don't want to exploit that because it's way too close to my existing city center. So it would cause a lot of disruption. And there's a lot of iron out here, so maybe I'll put a gold mine and an iron mine out this way too. Ooh, okay, so we have some choices here. An out-of-breath messenger brings you worrying news. The Ottomans are besieging the Byzantines in Constantinople, while the Timurids are threatening towns close to the Ottomans' borders. Your advisors recommend that you inform the Byzantines of their advantage in attacking the besiegers. You can also negotiate with the Ottomans in exchange for your support against Constantinople, or strengthen your own defenses to avoid war. Each decision could compromise the alliance your family has made with both nations. We could, left choice, support Constantinople and gain bricks, tiles, and food. Middle choice, support the Ottomans and gain precious stones and gold coins. Or right choice, barricade ourselves and gain iron and steel. Alright, Team Isolationism coming out very strong out of the gates. And, yeah. Steel is a resource we don't have much yet, so yeah, that's probably what I would have chosen to. Forget our alliance. Rely only on ourselves. I'm going to spend my cultural points. But as you can see, there's a new list of cultural radiances now, too. City, medium city, so on and so forth. Bishopric, town, Bastide, and Queen of Cities. So we're working on that as well. Where's my other stone mines? That's sand quarry. Oh, this is a stone quarry? Okay. I know I'm going to need a lot of stone, so I'm upgrading my stone quarries ahead of time. Upgrade the cutting camp. Yep, and these farms are doing just fine providing the food for the surge in food needs. And here's our little medieval center. So if we take a look at the attractiveness, the new populations are living near the medieval city center. This is the new hub. I don't really like its rampart construction, so I'm probably going to wait to build ramparts because its current sphere sucks. So I'll wait for there to be a lot more housing so that it grows in the correct directions. So the next goal I'd like to work on is to repair and upgrade the ceramic workshop. I think that'd be nice to do. Let's see. Get that surveyor cabin up. Oh, new faction. Itinerant blacksmiths. Sure. Welcome. So here's our factions. The old factions still exist, but we're getting some new factions that are, you know, more medieval themed. I'm surprised that like it's still the old zoning, but your old ancient capital doesn't get phased out with the introduction to the new one. The next medieval center upgrade costs bricks and rubbles, so we also might want to ramp up our brick and rubble production. But I'm going to mostly focus on the optional task of upgrading a cultural building first, which requires 800 stone and wood. So that's why I'm upgrading my cutting camps and my stone quarries. I did want to build clay up here. Yep, that's true. There we go. There's a lot of clay in that like marsh, so we'll get a lot of clay from there. Is there a medieval version of the Herarium? There is not. In fact, your old Herarium doesn't even get phased out. It still exists. It doesn't get broken through time, which I find weird, but yeah, it's just the way it is. And now with this surveyor's cabin maxed out, we might be able to sneak some mines in here. Although it's warning me it's still rocky area. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'd have to break down the farm fields. So never mind. Not going to be able to put it there. That's fine. Where could the mines go then? So we have the... Maybe what we'll do is once we have more surveyor cabins, I could put a gold mine here. And there's technically iron in these hills too, so I could put the iron mine there. There's just not a lot of iron, but there's some, so I'll put an iron mine there for now. So the arena's now repaired, and that's giving safety and belonging again. And attraction. And I'm closing in on the required resources to repair these ceramics. I just need a little bit more stone. Open up more trade routes. I'm actually going to unlock them all. Is there some passive income from just unlocking them? Which might be nice to have. So any resources that I have a lot of excess of, I could go ahead and sell. So right now I have like excess sand, but no one really wants to buy my sand. So once my stone hits 853, I'll be able to repair that ceramics workshop. So one more cycle, I think. Or 2 more cycles. Yep, there we go. Repair. So after 60 turns, we'll be able to repair it, and then once it's repaired, we'll be able to evolve it up to a stone workshop, potentially, if I have them unlocked. The requirements for this Presidium is much, much, much higher. Way beyond even the capacity of clay that I currently have. So, like, that's kind of a pipe dream. We're not going to be able to repair that anytime soon. And then for the Domus, very easy to repair. So I could repair the Domus much, much sooner with only about 180 stone. So this Presidium, is just much, much more expensive and probably kind of a distant goal as a result. Here we go. We're getting a little bit more sensible rampart construction now. So the longer I wait for this medieval city center to develop, the more circular it will be. There aren't any political factions up here, though. So if we look at the district maps, I haven't built any cultural buildings around here. So there really isn't much of an advantage to build ramparts without cultural factions. Because the cultural factions are what benefits from ramparts. It also increases immigration, but, you know, that's a much smaller bonus. Alright, so we're bringing the Domus back, too. Looks like my need for stone is still pretty high. What are the requirements for the next tier medieval? 310 bricks and 485 rubbles. So the rubbles is probably the one that we need to focus on, because I'm pretty close to the bricks already. So I'm going to build a stone carver here and another brickworks here as well. This spot's pretty decent because it's very far away from both cities. Oh, and we have another choice. The Ottoman Sultan was informed of the Timurids' presence on his borders, and most of the soldiers turned back to defend their kingdom. For its part, Constantinople took advantage of the moment of respite to ask its allies for help. Neutrality was outlawed. The turmoil is felt in adjacent countries. You must be on the winning side, but which side? Constantinople seems hopeful and ready for battle, but it's also possible to persuade Sicily or Austria to join the war in favor of the Ottomans to have a quick and easy battle. Left choice, support Constantinople. Gain wooden beams, rubbles, and food. Right choice, form an alliance for a simplified attack to support the Ottomans, to gain precious stones and gold coins. Tied, huh? My coin's ready. I'll give you like 30 more seconds to vote. Ooh, coming in strong for precious stones. All right, let's confirm that. The other thing I'd like to start to do, so this stone carver, I'm going to say, is simply just too close to the city, the old city center, to bother upgrading, because I don't want it to overlap and ruin the city. But what we can start to do is to unlock the next tier of carver, the next tier of carpenter, the next tier of tiles, the next tier of brickwork, and mine. I guess I'll do mine too. I have a lot of blueprint points, so I'm spending them. In order to build the next carver, we need gold leaf. So let's shop around for it. Let's buy 100 gold leaf. And upgrade the carver to tier 2. Upgrade the brickwork to tier 2. So currently, I have only one carpenter. It's down here. I'm going to move this carpenter up, away from the city center. There we go. And I'd like to get 2 of these specific buildings. So let's get another brickworks. And another carver. The faction of Court of Miracles. Sure. Strange name. So there's this old brickwork that I'm going to break down. So we've got 2 brickworks, a carpenter, and 2 carvers up here. Where is my tiles? Oh, tiles were on the river. I can leave that there. That's not too close to anything important. That seems innocuous. What's interesting is I can actually delete this old surveyor cabin because the sphere of influence of the original town still covers enough, which frees up a surveyor cabin, which is kind of great. So let's stick this surveyor cabin way the heck out this way so that I have a lot more access to the stone in these hills. And access to these woods and sand and all that. There's gold in here too. So it gives me access to the gold, and there should be iron as well. Yeah, there's plenty of iron. So a reminder, to upgrade the medieval city center, I need cut stone and bricks. So let's get some more carvers. And more brickworks. To fuel that need. I don't think this brickwork's going to fit in there, so we'll stick it here. And a lot of what you do once you hit medieval times is just like upgrade the amount of resource production, because everything becomes like 5-fold more expensive to build it, you know? So you just need to dump so many resources because everything is just more grand and bigger, and that's the big push. So right now I don't have the populace for more, but as soon as we have more people, I'll put them to work in the quarries and the mines and all that. So evolving a culture building I'll have access to, potentially with the ceramics workshop in just a few cycles. So I don't have the stone or people. And I also need to unlock the level of this building in the building tree to upgrade it. So that's a production building that I don't have access to yet. So I won't be able to evolve that. Am I able to evolve anything? Let me go and check. So in order to check, you could go to all of your ancient buildings and see if any of the evolution trees are unlocked to you. But I don't think they are yet. I think we just need to build more medieval cultural buildings to gain access to that stuff. Oh, I can get rid of this survey cabin 2. Nice. Taking a look. Is there really any gold hotspots? Yes, there's a gold hotspot back here. So let's put the surveyor cabin like back this way to get to this gold hotspot. So I might have to put the cultural building evolution on hold for a bit until I have the technology to evolve any of these things. So instead, let's focus on upgrading the medieval city center. So this just needs about 100 more cut stone than I currently have, and I'm upgrading the carvers. So we should be able to get that pretty soon. Maybe I'll do one more carver in here. It might seem like an excessive amount of carvers, but like, just believe me when I say you just need a lot of them. The demand for cut stone and bricks and tiles are just so much higher in the medieval era than anything that you would have experienced in the previous eras. So the next question I have for you guys is what cultural building to build next? So there's a ropery, a dungeon, a hostel, a university, a guild, and a mollis. Our safety is falling behind, which would indicate that we might want a military building, but ultimately I'm going to leave the choice up to you instead of influencing it. Because we could always have a building's secondary benefit be safety. Almost all the factions dislike hostels? Yeah, but not necessarily around the medieval district. I'm not too worried about what the older factions care about. I'm mostly going to be focusing on the catering to the newer factions. Whoops. Whoa, I almost clicked here. So it looks like we're going to do a military building. Got it. We'll do the, So here's another choice. Sultan Mehmet II has just replaced his father and is more determined than ever to march on Constantinople. Tensions are running high and the Byzantines haven't received any help from allied countries, although we don't know why. You could advise Emperor Constantine to hire great mercenaries to help him, such as Giovanni Giusti whatever, or join the Ottoman camp. So here are the choices. Support Constantinople, where we pay mercenaries on the behalf of the Byzantines and we gain tiles, steel, and food, or support the Ottomans and gain precious stones and gold coins. All right, Constantinople, you shall stand. I am going to sell off some of the steel that we already have because we have more than I have space for. And we can evolve our medieval center. Awesome. So you guys wanted a dungeon. That sounds creepy, but yeah, we'll work towards building a dungeon. So that needs more stone than I currently have, but that's about it. You now have access to service buildings, the Master Buildings Office, the Library, and the House of Grievances. The Belfry allows... So the Belfry allows advantages... It's not included in the early access just yet, but that would be raids on barbaric camps. So that's not in. The Master Builder Office is like an upgraded architectural building, but it also allows you to plan districts, and the Library allows you to unlock bonuses from know-how. So we'll get those going. A new faction. Sure. The Rhadamant. Yeah. Rad faction. Welcome. That's me. That's definitely me. I also wanted more stone quarries, so let's put a stone quarry over yonder. And maybe, can I do a stone quarry over here too? Oh no, it's a little bit outside of a sphere of influence. Maybe stone quarry here? Oh, come on, let me build. This might be too close to the town center, so I'm not going to choose to build there. Perhaps over here? Yeah, this will work. Need for stone is quite high, so I'm just going to keep building stone quarries. So, the game wants me to unlock the House of Grievances, which is like the medieval Senate. So taking a look at the blueprint points for service, that would be here. Done. So we need to build it. And I need stone for it. So yeah, I'm literally quarrying up the stone for it as we speak. Okay, so this is an indicator that a certain area has run out of resources. So this small mine mining up gold ran out of gold, but instead of destroying it or changing it over to iron, I'm going to improve the mine because the gold is up here in the hills, and increasing the level of the mine, it gives further access to the resources. So we went from 0 gold to 3,600 gold. So sometimes recycling or transitioning the resources that are exploited is not the answer. Just upgrading the building works just fine. I would love to build a stone quarry here, it's just not letting me place it. I'm gonna try to place a surveyor out this way to see if I can't build out this way, but if I can't, I'll just break down the surveyor and put it somewhere else. I'm not wed to the location. Thank you for tuning in to Memoriapolis, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 11th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow residents of Memoriapolis.